yes, game villains. They come in all shapes and sizes, and most of the time they are either out to get you or simply make your life a living hell. But the most memorable ones are often the greatest ones. Either how they look, how they act, what they are, or simply the impact they give. Let's find out which one earns the title of the greatest game villain of all time. Do know, this is not about the most difficult game villains, but simply about those who once seen, fought, or simply heard leave a lasting impression. Also, I apologize for my non-perfect English, but I'll try to be as clear as I can to give you a good review. I'm E. Thompson, and here's the top 10 greatest game villains of all time. Signifying just how deep a warrior can fall from grace, Darth Vader is the iconic antagonist of the Star Wars franchise. Once destined to become the greatest Jedi of all time, as well as the demise of the Sith, Vader has gone hell of a long way along the path of evil. Also, being one of the most powerful, ruthless, and destructive Sith ever to have lived, as well as causing one of the greatest what the fuck moments in movie history, Vader ain't exactly the galaxy's greatest dad. But he is one of the greatest game villains. Apart from his daily routine, being lightsabering this guy and force stroking that guy, as well as suffering from severe asthma problems, Vader ain't the type of guy you wanna get on his bad side with. Also, secretly training an apprentice in hopes of destroying the Emperor, only to start the chain of conspiracies and deceit, which would only lead to his own greedy gain, Vader is truly an icon, in video games and movies alike. Metal Gear series is one of the greatest and most memorable game series ever, and of course one would expect one of the most memorable game villains in it as well. Come on people, how often do you get to fight a 78-year-old gunslinging badass? Revolver Ocelot is definitely the greatest villain in the Metal Gear Solid franchise, as well as one of the greatest game villains ever, simply because this guy is the shit. Coolness is his trademark. Revolvers are his weapons. Gunfight with him becomes a whole new world. Also, given he knew and fought the legendary Big Boss, as well as being the nemesis of the legendary Solid Snake, Ocelot doesn't just have the guns, he has style. Anyone who disagrees? Well, good luck to you, partner.
Draw!
Castlevania is one hell of a game franchise. Vampires, zombies, werewolf, dark magic. What more could a monster hunter ask for? How about fighting the lord of all vampires himself? Living several millennia, as well as being the personification of the night and all its horrors, Dracula from Castlevania should simply be here because of what he is. You thought you were afraid of the night? Well, you should, because once you see him, be prepared for having every ounce of blood in your body sucked dry. Also, being the main antagonist of the series altogether, Dracula is the personification of everything that makes vampires so scary. Ah, yes. Remember when vampires weren't fags? Prince of Persia is an astounding game franchise. Great gameplay, awesome acrobatics, and an intriguing story. Also featuring the ability to rewind time in case you screwed up. This series was simply incredible in every conceivable way. And of course, it features one very special villain. Yourself. Well, not exactly yourself, but in a way, yeah. Looking like a malevolent, dark as well as abominable version, and representing everything dark about the prince. The Dark Prince, simply here for what he stands for. The darkness inside you. Acting as a helping hand for a small part. Trying to take over your body many times as well as being your true enemy all along. The Dark Prince is definitely one of the most memorable as well as most amazing villains ever.
Number 6.
Warcraft is a highly fun as well as a massively popular game series. World of Warcraft and its expansions were even better. Yet amongst the countless enemies appearing all together, there is just one who earns his place on this list.
You speak of justice, of cowardice. I will show you the justice of the grave and the true meaning of fear.
The most cruel, heartless, coldest, as well as most cynical enemy ever to appear in Warcraft and World of Warcraft. The Lich King is not just here because of what he does. Basically, it's every single thing about him. He looks terrifying. He's a cold, remorseless killer. He's the lord of the freaking undead. Zombies were creepy as hell alone, but having the Lich King around, who would reap your soul with his Runeblade Frostmourne, is definitely not a good sign. For the living, that is. The Lich King is truly not just one of the most insanely difficult, seemingly impossible RPG bosses. He is also one of the most memorable game villains as well.